Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening and welcome to EduTALK. EduTALK is a weekly virtual talk show created out of the need for global learning community, and we focus on topics in education that directly impact Caribbean nations and diaspora nationals working across the globe. EduTALK features teachers, principals, business leaders, dignitaries, and other people who share their expertise on critical topics facing education today, with a common goal of moving education forward and our students upward. I'm your host. I'm Dr. Dwayne Dice. I'm the CEO and founder of Education Solutions International, ESI. Please visit ESI at edusolutionsintl.org for more information. Now, this week on our program, we have with us Mr. Wayne Thompson. Mr. Wayne Thompson is the CEO, the founder and CEO of KRWTRONICS, and that's a technology company in a nutshell in Kingston, Jamaica. And we're very happy to feature him on EduTalk this week. So, Wayne, welcome. I don't think, is this your first time on EduTalk?
No, I think I've been on EduTalk, I think 2 times before. Yeah, I think I've been on
all
two
right.
times before.
Yeah, so you're a seasoned person for the talk, indeed.
That's
All right.
correct.
Yeah, so Mr. Wayne Thompson is the CEO and founder of KRWTRONICS. And when I saw the platform recently, I'm seeing a lot of courses that are popping up on there for certification, and these certifications are recognized worldwide. So before we get into the certificate, just give us a little bit about yourself and KRW Tronic. What is that company that you created, and the the objective, the initiatives and the services that are behind it?
All right, so KRWTRONICS is a very unique company in the sense that we have practical technicians who are in installation maintenance, and of course, we also have educators as well who are into robotics and bringing industry to the classroom. So one department of KRWTRONICS, the robotics department, the STEM department, and also the AI department, what we do in that department is that we try to make learning fun, hands-on, relevant, and application-based. So that's the mandate of KRWTRONICS. So it is not surprising, therefore, that we would have partnered with a few other schools that have industry certifications. One of the reasons why they partnered with us is because we have a series of workstations. For example, we have laptop workstations, domestic appliance workstations, solar systems workstations. And so we saw the synergy in providing hands-on based learning, physics applications, all of that stuff, and also marrying the two with industry as well, combining the two with industry. So that's kind of a nutshell of what KRWTRONICS is all about. So there is the industry side and then there's the education side. So what we really want to do is to promote hands-on based learning. We have had many discussions with education stakeholders, and one of the key things that we have noticed is that we want our students to be participating in science. So we don't necessarily want the students to be writing and reading and regurgitating to pass an exam. So we want students to be able to set up experiments. We want students to be able to set up projects. We want students to be able to know the critical thinking and setting up projects and all of that stuff. And of course, coming up with solutions. So that is kind of the rationale of KRWTRONICS.
Okay. All right. It's very good. It's very 21st century ready with the technology. But what caused you, if somebody asked you the idea behind it from the get-go, because you could have gone into technology companies and start working for other people, but you had the idea to create this initiative. What's the motivation behind it from you bringing it into being?
Okay, so that's a very good one. All right, so one, I really do have a passion for teaching. And what I've noticed is that teaching is an area that is ripe for innovation. There are a lot of gadgets that we can build and design that can be teaching aids. And so I have been exploring that idea. And of course, in Jamaica, I'm trying to build out this industry under the term educational engineering. So where we use our engineering skill sets and say, okay, how can we allow students to learn energy or kinetic energy or motion in a hands-on way? How can we allow students to be engaged hands-on while they are seriously learning academic concepts? So that was one of my passions. And my thesis, that what I started my thesis in before I started this department. So it was in machine learning, game development, and of course, robotics, using the technology to enhance teaching and learning. Because one of the things that we know is going to become very important is, okay, we're designing robots, but what are some of the applications we're going to be designing them for? What are some of the industries they can impact? And so that has really been my research, and also that has really been my practice. So for example, we would program robots to move at different velocities, and students will work out the different accelerations, work out the different distances, and do their measurements with measuring instruments so that they can participate and they can really see the link between theory and application, because some of these formulas are quite abstract. And so students will ask you, okay, sir, will I ever use this? Since we have started the academy and we have been doing these kind of things, those questions are not popping up. Students are thinking of new ways to calculate their accelerations, do measurements, stuff like that. So it's really creating a spark. And so one of the reasons I've also not gone to industry is, one, because of my passion for teaching. That's one. And also the fact that I wanted to innovate as well. So I wanted to be creating some manipulatives. So just now we were designing a series of small electronics projects. And so we're going to be keeping some workshops. So there's those basic circuits with 4 and 5 components, but yet still those devices can do water level sensing, all of that stuff. So being in academics now, we will look at some of the different subject areas where we can utilize them. And of course, students will brainstorm, answer questions around the different gadgets as well.
Okay. And you partner with schools right across Jamaica? It's just Jamaica or the Caribbean region?
All right, so the Caribbean, so we have a partnership with ASTI from Trinidad. So they are a certification company. So they're an academic institution, but they really their focus is hands-on based learning and certification, job-ready certification. So they will do alarm systems installation, CCTV installation, solar power installation, and stuff like that. And of course, you have academia, so persons can do a lot of the theoretical science, but it's a certification company, and you can, of course, garner industrial certifications from ESA and other bodies
What's
as
the
well.
abbreviation? ACT and ESA and so on. What's those?
So for ASTI, I would have to ask Dr. Peters. I know that is unique to his company, so I'm not sure about the abbreviation. But ESA is Electronic Solutions Association.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. And so you have one in Trinidad and you're based in Jamaica.
And we're based in Jamaica.
Yeah. So the other thing that before we get into this, because I want to talk, extensively about the certification course, because you have quite a bit. I want to show a little video of you doing one of those workshops that you talk about in I think this was in Westmoreland. So take a look at this and then we talk about it.
Yeah, so all right, so this is a community-based robotics project. The person who put on the program wanted students in the community of Westmoreland to be exposed to robotics. So a lot of these students would not have been exposed to coding and robotics. So that was her initiative. So Sherry Campbell, the organizer of the camp, wanted the students in her community to be really exposed. Because one of the issues was that she was saying that there are kind of limited opportunities because it's a little bit rural, and a lot of the things that are kept in robotics tend to be based in Kingston. So seeing this opportunity, and also this was an outreach opportunity for us as well. I jumped on it, and the students really enjoyed programming, remotely controlling the robot, and of course, by by the students engaging with the technology,
Yeah.
there are so many questions that they ask about what robots can do and what they would want their robot to do. And these are some of the things that we want to bring out in our students as well.
Yeah. What are some of the what are some of the the training, the aspects of training that these young kids, because some of them are very young, like the little girl we just saw. What are some of the training that you have to take them through in order for
Okay,
them to actually touch the device and start manipulating the robot?
okay. So firstly, we would of course show the kids the different parts of the robot, and then of
Mm-hmm.
course the app. So then they'll see the graphical user interface, and of course they will have the arrow instructions. For example, which key allows you to move forward, backward, which key allows you to turn left, which key allows you to turn right. So all of that will be illustrated, and of course they will have the practice runs and stuff like that
Mm-hmm.
until they, of course, have mastered the devices.
Oh, okay. How do you determine what level you would start with in terms of the students? Because I know, when you're teaching little kids coding, you start very simple, but this is
That's correct.
like hands-on already, with a robot. So how do you get them to move from or to understand what the coding entails in order for you to get to the practical use of it?
All right, so that's a good question. So
Yeah.
when you start with kids, and of
Yes.
course you're going to teach them to program a robot to move forward, we start with a program called block coding. All right, so
Mm-hmm.
there are several different block coding platforms. So you have Scratch, you have Pictoblocks, and of course you have the Vex graphical interface. What these interface allows students to do is to put little boxes in a coding space, and the
Mm-hmm.
boxes will have titles like forward, backward, turn left, turn right, and stuff like that. So if they see a path to move forward, then they know that by clicking on the forward block, the robot will move forward. If they want the robot to move backward, they can click on the backward block. If they want it to turn right, then they click on the right block and stuff like that. So from at this level, we do navigational robotics like that. So there are arrows showing the path that we want the robot to move, and then the student will say, okay, forward, then the robot stop, then it turn right, then it make another left turn, then it moves forward. So they'll describe the motion in their natural language. And by
Mm-hmm.
the way, just listening to the CEO of OpenAI, I think programming will be demystified in the near future because they want to use natural language to actually start to code in the new integrated development environment. So for
Yeah.
example, if somebody wants to say, do an if statement, they can just say if Paul and Peter is equal to 100. And so that is where programming is going as well. But at
Mm-hmm.
this level,
Yes.
coding, and then of course, as they go up, then we engage them in the electronics design, and of course the text-based coding, and then of course other platforms as well.
It's very interesting. I love the fact that they're actually touching the device. You give them the opportunity to manipulate it and becoming a part of. I see a lot of people looking at the computer, which is the coding aspect of it, and then arranging the blocks and putting the robot within those blocks to manipulate it in order to move in different directions. So it's very good. And the other thing is that you're taking this to the rural parts of Jamaica to get ordinary people who would have never seen a robot, who would have never had not even a 1% chance of touching and manipulating technologies like this. You actually give them the opportunity to experience it, which is very, very good.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. So that is in Westmoreland. What's the so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about the courses, because this has to do moving from dealing with kids and schools and partnership with schools and so on with the students. Um, what 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 sort of courses that you offer with KWR Tronics?
Okay, all right. So some of the courses that we offer at
Yeah.
KRWTRONICS involves the CCTV. So CCTV is one of the areas that we enjoy doing
Mm-hmm.
for a few reasons. One, the cameras in today's world are equipped with software called computer vision software, where they can do obstacle detection. And so that's one of the packages that we took first from our partners, ASTI, because
Mm-hmm.
also the cameras could go on our robots, and of course we could use it for navigation. So right away, that technology was very applicable to what we were already doing in robotics. All
Mm-hmm.
right, so that's the first thing. And of course, you have the general surveillance systems that we want to be a part of that space also here in Jamaica as well. And of course, the next thing, so everything, because I'm also a physics educator and of course an
Yeah.
electronics educator as well and robotics, when we are doing these systems, all right, we look at the applications to the content areas in the different subject areas so that students can see that what they're learning in science is relevant. And of course, they can also participate in the design of these programs as well. So
Yeah.
that's very, very important to us. So that is one of the mandates of KRWTRONICS. So we have been working with principals. A lot of principals have been very, very interested in what we're doing. Me and the other technicians, they are in industry, but what we have done recently is to build out every single circuit that we can think of. And
Mm-hmm.
then I will do is I will have a workshop with the kids and they will build these small circuits, spreading the notion of science from this perspective as well, especially from the electronics perspective,
Mm-hmm.
so that they can see the applications, especially to physics. So a lot of the things that I do will be biased to physics and sometimes chemistry, because we have like pH level sensors and temperature sensors that we use to monitor chemical reactions as well. So STEAM-based
Oh,
approach.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting. Um, so you have how is the course, how are they going in terms of the feedback that you're getting from, especially because I'm trying to think of the Caribbean and how people relate. From my experience with working with the especially the school leaders across the Caribbean, they are a little bit reluctant in diving in to technology because the rest of the population of teachers, they are not ready yet, so to speak, with the technology. So what is it like with the certification courses? How are they going?
All right, so for the certification courses, we find that from time to time we do get cohorts in alarm system CCTV.
Mm-hmm.
So we do get cohorts in those. You are quite correct when you're saying that. I think it's just a lack of knowledge, and that is why we have these set of workshops. But some of the principals are really sold, really, really sold when it comes to these techie hands-on things. But it's just that out of say 1,000+ schools, we would say when only 40 principals is 100% sold, that's a little bit small if we compare it from a percentage point of view. So we'll say that we still have lots of work to do. And of course, there are some new technologies because recently attending MIT, they
Mm-hmm.
had some for kids. Kids can now participate in artificial intelligence, machine learning through all of these block coding devices that they have in Scratch. So they can do natural language processing with blocks. They can use computer vision, and this is all block coding that kids can do. And of course, you can scale it right up to, of course, graduate level school. But small kids can now participate in this AI, machine learning, and deep learning revolution as well. It has been a little bit disappointing,
Right, we're losing you.
I know that for this week, a lot of principal letters was to do workshop in these areas. Another game development is another aspect that we are also combining everything with. And with the game development and the animation.
I'm losing you. I think we're losing you. Yeah.
Subject areas like the history, our own history, etc. Yeah. Here's in the other subject areas of literature, history, religious education, etc.
Yeah. Wayne, we lost you a little bit in the middle there. You were saying that with the challenges with the teachers, how are you seeing that playing out in terms of the challenges with the teachers and embracing technology a little bit more? What were you saying?
All right. So one of the things that we do is we try to hold regular workshops.
Right.
1 and 2 of our workshop will have a corporate sponsor and stuff like that. So what we try to do though is to really show the principals. We do presentations because when they see the technology at play, when they see the machine learning and the game development at play and what we can actually do with it, then they are more likely to use it. We also offer the services whereby principals can come in and say, okay, you can develop some lessons, all right, and develop some games for us in these subject areas, and we will dialogue, because we're not expecting the teachers overnight to be, cramming in all of these skill sets and be solving problems with them, because it's going to take some time. But what we are expecting though is to at least an appreciation of letting it get into the schools, and little by little allowing the students, all right, to really, do the competition, the little competitions, and also allowing the students to use these tools in the teaching and learning environment as well.
Yeah, it's difficult though when they cost quite a bit of money per robot and the system. So what's the navigation around that challenge with
okay, so
you're marketing it, but they're gonna say that it costs money. So how are you coping with that type of challenge?
It's difficult to cope with for example, when they talk about physical robotics,
Yeah.
many of our schools tend to struggle to procure equipment. But where I start with robotics, I start with all of the free online simulation softwares, and also softwares that we can download for free as well. So we talk about Sandblock, all right? That's a free software. Well, one aspect of it is free. You have the premium version that is paid for, but there is billions of things that you can do with Sandblocks in terms of game creation. We're talking about PS2 standard games. You talk about Tinkercad, where you can, of course, control and automate electronics. That is a free platform. So my workshops starts there, because what we're also seeing is that the free platforms are poorly utilized.
Yeah.
When we look at the skill sets, recently I lectured robotics at several colleges here, application robotics, software robotics at 2 different colleges. And really the skill set, the skill levels in terms of the student, okay, this is a robot, and then this is a schematic diagram. You're looking at the schematic diagram to put the components together. So that is just looking at the diagram, knowing what the different devices on the diagrams are, and just putting what you're seeing together. So you can say that those skills weren't readily practiced in school, and that's something that they're learning at the tertiary level, which should not have been the case, because these are things that are on our lower level syllabi, but because from sometimes lack of resources and the hands-on approach is not so readily adopted, students tend to miss these experiences, but they have all of the other cognitive academic experiences, but the practical application experience, they tend to miss out on that at the secondary and even at the primary level as well.
Agree. I totally agree with it. So you talk about the courses. I'm going to come back to the course a little bit, but I want to ask you another question while this is running. The what do you call it? The STEM club. Do you still, this is The STEM club is what you carried around in schools to do the workshop, those workshops. That's what it is? Or this is a
All right.
different thing that you have?
So the STEM club, basically,
Mhm.
that is our camps that we will keep here on campus at KRWTRONICS. But those same models, we try and get them into the school. So to get them into the school has two choices. Um, the migration and movement of teachers have been a problem. So when a school train a teacher and the teacher leaves the next year, they are
Mhm.
saying, Mr. Thompson, we can't really pay to train somebody again, and they might leave the other year. So one of the solution is to have a central time where a few schools do robotics, and on screen, I will have things like this being demonstrated, and there's a teacher there that will just man the ground with the students.
Mhm.
So that way, if you continue to change teachers, all you just need is somebody in the room to just say, okay, Mr. Thompson's doing this, you can try that. Okay, this is where Mr. Thompson's at, you can try that. Just like how we're seeing this on screen. So
Yeah.
for example, we could have asked a student to, write that code and of course just design this remotely. So we're trying to solve some of the problems remotely as well by offering the program online, and teachers at the location can be in the class and be learning at a class space as well.
Oh, interesting. This is very good. I hope this will get some people excited about the technology, but also that it is very much accessible and the people are capable if they just apply themselves. Um, what 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 have you learned though from doing your own studies of maybe machine learning or the coding in general in order to help other people? Going to MIT, you know, linking up with other people internationally. What has that taught you about the teaching of coding and robotics, and also the exposure in terms of where we're going into the future with these type of technology? I think we're losing you again, Wayne. I think we have lost Wayne a little bit. He should be back on. Um, having technical difficulties with these the systems to connect. If I can get him back on. Yeah, I think we lost him for a little bit here. But this is what Wayne is about. Mr. Wayne Thompson with KWRTRONICS doing very well, doing extraordinary work in Jamaica. There's also the certification program. So this is called STEM Club that you can see videos on his YouTube channel, exposing young minds to technology and robotics and coding, using coding to drive um, robotics knowledge. All right, so these are some of the courses that Wayne has been developing in his company. It's called KWRTRONICS. KWRTRONICS has been developing these courses, and people can access them. If you want to access them, you can reach out to Wayne at Wayne Thompson 5225 if you want to become a part of his network. All right, so I think we have you back on, Wayne. Yeah, what I was asking you to reflect on, and we're winding down on our program here, is so the um the journey that you have taken and also being involved with your own education and development, even to MIT and the people you have linked with internationally, the teaching you have been doing with coding and robotics. So what has that have all of that taught you in terms of the way technology is going? and the way we need to approach this idea of machine learning and robotics in general for our young people.
All right, so that's a good question. So, because I talk about this subject area so often, just recently, I've been discussing with some colleagues that we need to respond. For example, you have kids that's, from primary school that would be interested in technology. So just like how you have other subject areas, you have your RE and stuff like that. When you see, for example, technology changing so rapidly, what can be done, and I think what should be done, is that we should start to form, if not in the formal curriculum, but at least allow it to be accessible to schools, even in an after-school curriculum. Basics of machine learning and AI and robotics and game development, so that our students can at least be just exposed, and the students who are really, really liking it can have a platform where they can launch from. And I think that is very, very important, because I often tell persons that when I was in first one of the first topics I did in integrated science was germination. And then fast forward, just going back, looking back at what the kids at my high school is doing, one of the first topics they're still doing in integrated science. Nothing is wrong, but it's the same germination. Everything looks 100% the same. That's what I'm saying. So the books are the same. The test that they do is the same. It's like you could look at this paper and you can say, ask students, which year did you think this was from? And if they answered 1902, they would have been correct, because it's typically the same content and no change. And so this is integrated science. And so we're in an era now where there's so much technological advancement in machine learning, deep learning, AI, robotics in general, game development, and all of these areas, but yet still it's non-existent in many of our high schools. There are a few high schools that have adopted the idea of our robotics curriculum, and so students are being exposed, and they're seeing the benefits as well in terms of some of the things that the students are able to do as well.
Yeah, really interesting. All right, because of time, so Wayne, I really enjoy talking to you. I'm gonna get you to do one of those online workshops for our people right across the region. Yeah, for people who want to reach out, this is KRWTRONICS. It's in Kingston, West Avenue, Kingston, Jamaica. This is Jamaica. For people who are in the US here, or in Europe, or Africa, or Asia, you can get things done in Kingston, affordable price. Definitely can talk to Wayne. Also, you can reach out to him, because these videos that we have been showing, it's on TikTok or YouTube. You can check out the YouTube channel with Wayne Thompson. Just type in Wayne Thompson YouTube and you can find them, or KRWTRONICS. You can find it. He's available for supporting schools with with coding and robotics. He's also available because you can hear he's a physics teacher as well. So check it out. Wayne, thank you so much for talking with us on EduTalk. I hope somebody gained some knowledge of this, and looking forward to collaborating with you.
Always welcome. It was my pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And I'll touch base with you soon. Enjoy the rest of your week.
Yeah, man, no problem, Dr.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me.
All right, cool. Everyone, thank you so much for watching and taking part in EduTalk. This has been EduTalk. We will see you next time with another edition of EduTalk. Walk good, everybody. See you later. Bye-bye.